Clap it up. It's Tuesday.
And you know what that means.
Taco Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Clap it up. Get the energy up.
But hold up, where my taco at? Where's my taco? Where's my taco?
Oh, yeah.
We will never bring a taco in here.
That's what
We're going to bring tacos.
Next
So,
show.
guys, listen, not to belabor your time, we're here today. It's the Connected Corner where you get news and resources you can actually use. I am one of your hosts. I'm Tori Rose, the Connector, saying, hey, y'all.
What's up?
And who do I have with me tonight?
You have Kiana B. You know what? I'm not going to say the Jones anymore.
Okay, Kiana B.
It's going to be
Yes, we're leveling up. Kiana B.
Let's do it.
The B stands for birthday. It's Kiana's birthday
Oh,
month.
turn up. Libras.
Everybody know what that means.
Everybody knows what that means. And if you're a Libra, if you're October birthday, Kiana literally celebrates for 44 days. So she's about to be 44. We're celebrating her 44 days.
She looks like she's 12.
She looks like she's 12. And then who else do we have with us?
It's your girl D Nice, the entertainment specialist, man. Make sure y'all follow me on all social networks, man, because I follow back. I am D Nice women. We about to turn up.
Hey, y'all. We're about to turn up. And so I see there's some people who are joined in. They want to hear from Mother. That's what I call Senator Robinson, Mother. Because she is the mother of a lot. And she has birthed a number of amazing things, initiatives and laws and things like that. And she's going to tell us all about it.
Yes.
You guys excited?
Absolutely.
Show me you're excited. Awesome.
I'm about to learn. I'm about to learn a lot.
We're going to learn a lot. You guys help me as we introduce this amazing and wonderful woman. Let's see what we know about Senator Robinson. She's the author of 11 books.
Hey.
She's author of 11 books. How many have been published, Kiana?
7. Excuse me. Let her chime in.
Dropped one.
7.
She just dropped one yesterday.
That number,
7. Her 7th book is just dropped. She is she is also internationally known as a motivational speaker. She is affiliated with more than 50 organizations. Beat that.
Okay.
Come on now.
And one thing that I love, and we have to talk about her voyages and trips to Africa, which is one of my favorite places. And I know I was truly blessed going there, so I definitely want to hear about her experiences there.
Yeah, she's been in Africa. She also has a bachelor's degree in business management and computer technology from the University of Baltimore. She has a master's degree in criminal justice administration from Coppin State University. Come on, Coppin. And somebody say "and" with me. And
we supposed to say it together? My bad.
One time. 1, 2, 3. And an advanced studies degree in education from the Johns Hopkins University. She's completed a fellowship program in conflict resolution. That means she will not punch you in the face.
Right.
I will, though. I'm still working on it. And that came from the University of Maryland, from the School of Law. So not to belabor your time.
Man.
Let's put our hands up. Let's bring it to the stage.
Oh.
Come on down, come on down, come on down, mother. Come on down, come on down, come on down, mother. Hey, come on down, come on down, come on down, mother. Hey, come on down. You're gonna sit right here.
We're laughing at her off.
So, you guys don't even understand what we just witnessed. And Senator Robinson's daughter dancing.
Y'all can see her in my live.
Y'all can see her in that live.
Oh, she was
in my live.
Yeah.
So we're going to have cameras pointing your way.
We got a legend in the building.
Yes, a legend in the building.
Y'all both got read, so I ain't know what
Red is power.
Red is power. I have on a red skirt, so I'm going to show them later.
Powerful women around the table. Hello.
Hello. So welcome. I'm going to move this is my water bottle, right? I'm going to move my water bottle. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mother. I'm so excited. It's like, it's better than sitting
It's my first time really meeting her.
Really?
It's my first time.
I know.
You know, I'm just really excited about being here in support of my girl. And I'm looking for her to do a lot more things other than being in city council. This is just the groundwork.
Okay.
Yes,
you know, and starting her road to greatness in the political system. And she's not going to be a politician.
That's right. Come on, y'all heard it live.
She is going to be an elected official.
That's right.
I mean, there's a difference. You understand?
Okay.
That's right.
You know, a politician jumps up there in order to Photoshop.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
be in the limelight. And nothing going on, but I just want to be there, get my picture taken.
That's right.
But an elected official, you get the job done when nobody's watching, just because you know it needs to be done.
Thank you for that.
And there are not many elected officials.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Listen, we're not gonna cry this early in the show. I'm blinking hard.
That's right.
And so I appreciate what you said, and I thank you for it. And I think a part of what we miss across the board in any area, right? So if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, a teacher, is accountability. And so what I hear you saying is you're going to snatch me if I get out of line. So thank you for that.
And take you behind the woodshed like my mama used to say.
Woodshed. We're going to make it. Somebody bring in the woodshed.
No, my mother used to say, go out there and get a switch.
I know that term. The woodshed.
So I want to share a little bit of what I witnessed today and hear from your perspective, because you have been a public servant for years and years. And so today we're working on a community resource fair. It's going to be October 15th. It's the first time that we've worked with the Baltimore City Health Department, Total Healthcare, the library, everybody that's right there at the North and Penn corner. And we're challenging them to come outside of the walls. You hear people say that all the time about church, but with these resources, we're challenging them to come outside the wall. So today, there was an OD right in the middle of the day. There was a fire. There was a shooting. All of this stuff in the middle of the day. I shared with the team that I walked outside of the health department and someone was vomiting and going into an active OD right then. This is the state of our current district. Tell me, how do you see those types of things happening in the city, and how do you know how to help? Because you've done amazing things, but how do you know like what to do or how to serve the people?
You listen to what their needs are. Rather than you defining what their needs are, let them tell you what their needs are. And what's needed in one neighborhood is not necessarily what's needed in another neighborhood. And that was one of the things that I saw, and I was 10 years in the House of Delegates and 2 years as a state senator. But I've been over 50 years working in the community and working with people and working with women. And I never wanted to be a politician. I never wanted to go into politics. I was doing extremely well as an entrepreneur. I started my business in the basement of my home with an unemployment check. And I carried that into a multi-million-dollar corporation with 162 people on my payroll. And not knowing what entrepreneurship, not knowing what that word meant, but I knew what it was that I wanted to do. And because I didn't see anybody in Annapolis who looked like me, who could represent me as a minority business owner, then I wanted to jump in the race. And when I jumped in the race to run for the House of Delegates, I was the oldest one in the race and the greenest. I knew absolutely nothing. But I listened to what people said that they needed. And if you look at my record, you see me in the community more so than anything else, or more so than anybody that's coming behind me. And that's what I see from you. You go into the community and listen to what the people in the community tell you that they need.
Yes, ma'am.
And when they tell you what they need, if you listen closely, they'll also tell you how to address their needs.
That's good. That's good.
Because those who are closer to the problem can tell you how to address the problem. But we often make the mistake in not listening.
That's good.
Because we think we are up here and they're down there. And that's what a lot of politicians, when you become elected, you want to be able to run and sit at the front of the room. You want to be recognized as senator this or delegate this, instead of sitting in the back
Come on.
and listening
Church.
to what the person sitting next to you saying. You know what? He talks about that before, and if you just listened, if you just look at so-and-so next door and such and such and such, just listen to what the people say that they
That's right.
need. When I put in 54 pieces, 54 legislative, 54 bills last year. It wasn't from Barbara Robinson. It was from listening to what people in the community said that they needed.
Wow.
Did they all pass? No. But they all got on the docket.
Right.
And at least somebody would be an aha moment and say, I never thought about that. So if I didn't get to put it in, somebody coming behind me at some point would. So, and I hope that answered your question. I know
did.
it was
I'm struggling because I'm convicted and I don't want to fall out in the floor because sometimes, and they know, we had a guest once that I ran around the studio, almost broke some stuff and I got threatened, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But I think that the journey to being a good leader requires you to be an awesome servant.
And to be a good listener.
And being a good listener. And that's what I heard.
That's what I heard. Hearing is a biological condition.
Listening is a
skill.
But
listening is a skill.
That's right. It is.
And that's what we don't do a lot, because what was that old cliche we recently have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and so we can listen twice as much as we speak. A lot of
my children.
I used to say it all the time, to class. I've taught at 3 different colleges in Baltimore, and I've also taught in prison for 7 years.
Wow.
And everywhere I taught, I taught to how to start a business, etc. But communication, it has always been at the forefront of whatever I say, because we don't communicate enough.
Right.
And effective communication is effective listening.
That's good.
And that's what we really don't do. But I also want to, I just want to say that my book.
Yes, let's talk about the book.
Yes. That was launched yesterday.
What's the name of it?
By Amazon. Actually, it's a rewrite of number 1. It's called "And Still I Cry," and Amazon took that and put it into a series of 6. We're calling it "Moments in Time," and the reason that has been relaunched is because I rewrote it. My editor said it's time for us to add this and take this out because of what's happening with domestic violence.
Wow.
And child abuse, and what I'm focusing on. And I have a manager that's working with me that's scheduling around Baltimore. Just last year alone, my daughter and I visited over 60 churches in Baltimore, and all of them were not in my district. And I was there as a Women's Day speaker or doing motivational speaking or whatever. But at the churches, what I want to do, or what I am doing, is having a 2-hour seminar on adult survivors of child abuse and domestic violence. And I speak from experience. And that's what that book is about.
Oh, wow.
It's about my life living in a home where domestic violence was happening every weekend. And it's also talking about child abuse when I can address that, having been abused and sexually violated by my stepfather.
My goodness.
And when people look at who I am now, and they think about you've done this and you've done that, where God brought me to is obvious, but where He brought me from is not so obvious.
Wow.
And that's and I heard that my misery has birthed my ministry.
That's so good.
And that's what all of this is about. Who better can tell you how the shoes felt other than somebody who's walked in them?
Yes.
Right, exactly.
And so that's what I would like to see, powerful women such as you and others to start talking about what it is to be powerful. And it's not the fact that you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, because my book says from poverty to wealth, and from the outhouse to the State House.
Wow.
Because I never had a bathroom on the inside of my house until I got to Morgan.
Wow.
Never had hot and cold running water until I got to Morgan.
My goodness. Wow. And so we don't even think about stuff like that.
But, and we should. Because, I can remember being, when I taught in prison, and I used to talk to the guys, and we used to talk about Purple Haze and
wait a minute, Mother. Wait a minute. I need a disclaimer here.
Hold up.
Right.
Well, what I'm saying is that individuals, nothing is new.
Nice got excited. She just got back from that revolt with Puffy. Or Diddy.
And you would say Puffy.
She was puffing with Puffy.
Nothing is new. And a lot of times the young people now that are in the streets, that are going through changes, if you look at where their parents came.
That's right.
A lot of times the parents have not been educated to the extent that they actually know how to be parents.
That's right.
And, there's just so many things.
So how do we buy the book? And where do we find it? I know you said it's on Amazon.
You can go on Amazon.com, Kindle, or my website, BarbaraRobinson.info.
BarbaraRobinson.info. And we'll drop that in the for you all that are watching, we'll drop it into our things tonight in the comments. Also, it's phonetically spelled. That's why it's good to have some of our more mature guests, because there's no silent Z's in Barbara Robinson. It is phonetically spelled, no hyphens. So, Mother, you gave us a couple of good nuggets. You gave us misery, your misery birthed your ministry. I mean, you just are filled with what are they called, colloquialisms and analogies and all of that. But I'm gonna give you one.
My book number 6 is it number 6 or number 5? Number 5. Book number 5. It's called Mind Bungee Jumping, and that contains 54 original poems and 2,000 motivational quotes.
Oh, wow. Let me find out. This whole time
so I need to go get
bootlegging.
that. Right.
I didn't know.
Right.
I just got some of this stuff.
But I'm
going to give you one. I used to teach in the federal government, and I would teach soft skills as well, conflict resolution, different things that help people be better to each other. And so you talked about having 2 ears on your head so you can listen twice as much as you talk. I used to say that listen and silence have the same letters for a reason. And so in order for you to listen, you have to be silent. Wow, and that doesn't mean listening with the desire to respond. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to see if anybody's on the line. Let's see if we have an incoming caller.
Connect the corner.
The Connect the Corner.
Who do we have on the line?
Good evening. This is Haki here. How y'all doing?
Hey, Haki. How are you?
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm so pleased that you all have the Senator for Life on the line.
Do you want to ask the question, Haki?
Ma'am?
Do you want to ask the question?
Yes. Well, first, I just want to, applaud the Senator's work over the years and applaud her certainly for the work of, being a founder of the Greater Baltimore, one of the original co-founders of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
As well as her work with Maryland Legislative Black Caucus.
Absolutely.
Really, she has a lot of institutional knowledge. So I just want to say thank you for all that you've done over the years. You're valuable and an asset to our community. So
I thank you so much. I thank you so much. It's always great for somebody to say thank you while you can still hear them and say thank you. I'm living my best life now.
Amen.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Oh, I love it.
And y'all thought I was a man.
Tell me, I think she know the words behind that though.
Right.
I'm living my best life. What comes after that?
Don't you do it, Mother. It's a trend. They set me up. Don't do it, Mother. It's a trend.
I have no idea.
She said, I have no idea. Right.
I bow out gracefully.
Yay.
So, Haki, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, let me just add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, yes, and I'm talking to your daughter, and hopefully as like they did in Prince George's County with the women event that you attended and I was there. I look forward. We should be honoring you. So that's one of the things that Baltimore, we need to do in Baltimore with the Sisters for Sisters, and like how that event was. That was an awesome event. So we need to bring that to Baltimore, and I look forward to, assisting in whatever way I can with that.
I thank you for that, because Sisters for Sisters is an organization
that we all share.
Right, and I'm on the board, and it's doing great things in Prince George's County, and I would like to see something like that in Baltimore City. Last year, I had 1,000 Women of Worth down at the War Memorial, and over 400 women showed up. And they're asking again, when are we going to do this again in Baltimore? And that's what we need to do. When I visited, as the caller said, in Prince George's County, 2 weeks straight. 1 week there were 800 women.
Wow.
And then another week there were over 300 women.
Wow.
And all of these women are coming together to say, what can we do in Prince George's County to advance the quality of life of us in Prince George's County? And that's exactly what we need to do in Baltimore City.
Yes. Most certainly.
Did y'all hear the charge?
Yes.
We heard the charge.
We heard it. And so, that's one of the things we love Mama Peggy. And so we're working with Sisters for Sisters Network, Inc. And that's one of the things that we definitely want to be a part of, and spearheading the Baltimore chapter for Sisters Network, Inc. So we are eager and excited to be a part of that and launching it in Baltimore City.
I'm also on the board of directors of the Black Writers Guild. And I've been around a long time.
How? You just turned 27.
I know. You know what I said?
So I
don't know how you
got the Benjamin Button.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
You do all of that and only reach 27. I mean, what can I say? And I like to see more writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to see you writing down your life.
Yes,
if you only write it for your family.
That's good.
And you're not too old and you're not too young. We did a showcase, if you will, a panel of young writers. And it was amazing that you had writers 9 years old,
Yes.
15 years old, writing about mysteries or writing about whatever that come to their mind, and also entrepreneurs. I know I'm talking a lot, but I have a lot.
Hear from you.
No, we want to hear from you.
Young entrepreneurs. I met two sisters. One was 13 and the other 14. They were business partners.
Oh, that sounds like us.
I met a young woman who was an entrepreneur, and she has two businesses. She handed me her business card, and she was explaining to me. This young lady was so intelligent, 12 years old.
Wow.
And the first business that she has, she plans parties for kids 1 year old and 2 years old and 3 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And her
She need a host?
business,
My bad.
Right.
and her second business is she makes favors, little things to give out at those parties.
Oh, that's dope.
That's an upsell.
Yes.
Who taught this kid how to upsell? So her market is her market. That's so good.
I was working with a company out of New York called Genius is Common. And when I went on and did this video, he was asking me, you want me to tell you what to say? I didn't have to write anything down. If you just if I just thought about the people, the young people that I've met along the way, and genius is common. They just don't know that they geniuses.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
I get excited when I see young people making it against the odds. One of the bills that I put in last year, it didn't pass, but I'd like for somebody to take that and run with it again, is to teach financial literacy and entrepreneurship in school, starting at the 10th grade. And also to teach that in prison for inmates who are within a year of being released.
We just talked about this.
Yes.
Yep, literally.
You know, I have a painting that's hanging now in the basement of my home. I have a club area, and was painted by an inmate who never knew that he could paint until he was incarcerated for life. And when I met him, he said, "The reason that I am behind these bars and I won't see freedom again, the reason that I committed the crime has the money that I could make with my paintings now is far beyond the reason that I committed a crime."
Wow. Yeah.
But sometimes you don't even know your potential
until you just stop and get into yourself.
Wow.
And see what it is, you know.
Wow, that's so deep.
It really is. And there's
so deep.
just so many.
Yeah, that was deep.
And that was one of the reasons, you know, and as you said, I'm one of the founders of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce, along with Walter Dean, who's gone now, and Ray Haysbert, who's also gone now, and Lou Fields, who's still here, and Barry Hampton.
We know Lou Fields.
Who's still here. You know, and we did that. We started that 11 years ago. Again, trying to bring minority businesses together.
Right.
You know, one of my bills changed the name of GOMA, Governor's Office of Minority Affairs. My bill last year changed it to Small Minority and Women Business Owners.
Wow.
Because people didn't know that you could call the governor's office and find out information in order to help your business grow. But yeah, those are the little things that the reason.
So, Michael, let me ask you a question. Why do you think, and I'm sorry, it probably is your question. I probably heard your question, so if it is, forgive me. Why is it that you think that even with all of these bills, all of this legislation, all of these initiatives, why do you think that small business owners still don't mobilize? Why are they not empowered? Why don't we see more emergence and sustainability of small businesses in our community?
Because they don't know. They don't know. We pass bills in Annapolis, and when they are, if you look at the people who come and look and testify for and against these bills, they don't look like us.
That's right.
Right.
When people were fighting against the gun bill, not only did they have to bring in more chairs, but they had to put up cameras in different rooms because there were so many people out there protesting.
Yeah. They said it was like 17 hours?
Yes.
17 hours.
People come together when they are fighting for what they want.
Yes, they do.
And for an example, one of the bills that I put in was to separate 501c3 nonprofits from being counted as a minority business because there's a difference. And when the governor talked about the amount of money that he was putting into minority businesses, they were including people, organizations like the blind industry. I ain't got nothing against them. Kennedy Krieger.
Ain't got nothing against them.
Ain't got nothing against them either. Emerge, etc.
Right.
But
wait, we ain't got nothing against them either.
I just graduated. But
Just went through training.
But when a black business owner came to me that had a contract out at BWI, and it was taken from her and given to Kennedy Krieger, and saying, well, it's still going to a minority business. No, it was not. Oh. Because if you look at the definition, and I had to run out to Annapolis and ran in to explain to the Board of Estimates that there is a difference between 501c3 nonprofits and minority businesses, because if you look at the definition of what a minority business is, or a nonprofit,
right?
You know, a business can own a nonprofit. I mean, a nonprofit can own a business, but a business can never own a nonprofit. because it is always controlled by the board of directors.
Right.
And when that bill did pass, it took 5 years for me to get that bill through. But what it did, it opened up $800 million to be distributed to minority businesses.
800 million.
I'm about to go get mine.
A bunch of zeros.
But and then
Wow.
I had to go against blind industry, and not saying that we're taking anything away from blind industry, but what they did not understand what that bill meant either. In order for the bill to pass, we had to explain, that we were not taking anything away from people with developmental disabilities, either physical disabilities.
Right. So, Mother, I'm going to pause you for 1 second, I think. Okay. Yeah, so I will still drop the number in because we want to hear from the callers.
Yes,
so
call in.
404
436
1277. And please make sure you're dropping your comments. I see we have some friends from Sisters for Sisters Network Inc. on the line. We have a bunch of people on the line. If you have comments or anything that you want to
drop
say,
your questions.
My
and
Facebook
Mother.
is
you don't get to
jumping.
call her mother. You call her Senator Robinson. Senator Barbara A. Robinson. But okay, so you wanted to make sure that people understood that you were not slighting certain businesses or slighting certain nonprofits, but especially for those minorities, the women, and the small businesses, they needed that representation. Wow. What were you going to ask, Kiana?
Because there's a pot of money out there for nonprofits, and there's a pot of money out there for minorities.
Right.
So I'm saying the money that's earmarked to nonprofits should go to nonprofits.
That's right.
And that's for small business should go to small businesses.
Right.
But understand that they are two separate entities.
Most certainly.
Yes, most certainly. We were having a discussion today, and maybe you can help us and our viewers as well, talking about small businesses and what that definition looks like. So recently now, I guess on the planning committee for the Small Business Administration, the award ceremony that they give each year. And so just kind of learning that in this round, when we're talking about the governor's office, because I've been to some of those trainings, and when we're talking about getting money for minority and small businesses, is that what I'm seeing is that to be considered for some of those programs or be considered to have that title is that you at least have to have employees. And so what happens and what I'm seeing is that you have a lot of entrepreneurs now that are, coaches or doing different things that, have businesses that don't necessarily require them to have employees. So what are some other things out there or some advice for those type of small businesses, because they don't know about a lot of the resources that are out here to help kind of really get your business off started and really kind of growing? Like, what does that look like? Because I know as a business owner, I had a business. It took me a while, almost 10 years, to even bring people on to help me. I do accounting and I was doing taxes, and I was just belaboring myself every tax year because I was nervous about, letting someone, be involved in doing data entry and having access to my clients' information. So then when I finally got to the point in, being able to train somebody else to help me, it's like, okay, how do you grow? It gets a little scary when you're talking about growing and then having employees, and, as small businesses, you don't understand payroll and all of those type of things. What resources are out there for entrepreneurs like us?
Right. Help us. That's what she said all that to say. Help us.
For 10 years, I hosted Minority Business Night in Annapolis, money out of my own pocket. The first year, 50 businesses came out in a snowstorm. And after that, each year, it grew. And last year, there were over 300 small businesses there. And they were there because I wanted them there to listen to bills that have been put in against them or for them, and be able to ask questions of the individuals who represent you.
Oh, wow.
And of the 300 and so small businesses, some minority businesses that were there. And yes, there were one, person with one, and that was just themselves. That's the way I started out, just me. I could count on one hand the people who were from Baltimore City.
Wow.
They were from Prince George's County and other places. And last year, not this year, it was taken up by a new delegate that just got there. This is his first year there. He did a remarkable job for his first year. But again, I went to see who would be there. I don't think that there were more than 5, if that, from Baltimore City.
Wow.
And it's something I've never knew that was happening.
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my whole point.
And strategically, we are looking now at like calendars across the city, calendars across the state. And there is some strategic placement of certain distractors in our community. And so even when it was 40th District Night in Annapolis, because we were running around to the schools and telling people, hey, there's a bus here, there's a bus there, you can ride down with this and you can ride down with that. And that same night, I believe, was Baltimore County's Teachers Night. And now that wasn't necessarily a distraction, but back at home, they were having 2 parties that were very social parties that were definitely distractions from anyone who wanted to go and talk about what was happening to the city. And so when I asked one of the coordinators, what made you have your party on that night? She was honest, and she's been in the business for years. She said, somebody asked me to have it that night. I don't even remember who. And I can't say it was a conspiracy, but I feel that way. I feel like if you give our people an opportunity to learn and to grow and to step out and be uncomfortable, or to have drinks and music, unfortunately, the drinks and music are going to outweigh the desire to be uncomfortable and face self. And so I'm literally calling people and saying, did you know that such and such was having this event tomorrow? Did you know the Democratic State Central Committee is having this event? Stop having events on the nights that we are having things that are going to help save our community. Guess what? They may not listen, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. And we need to have a more centralized calendar for what's happening in our community, because they're going to always go. People are just going to go to what's more comfortable, what feels good to them.
I'm smiling because
because I'm starting trouble.
No,
I'm
smiling because we were in Paris, France, in November of this year, meeting with some individuals who have programs, Lutrice, and bringing, and I went, and they call it a collaboration of great minds. I was just glad to be there. Part of the great minds. I was invited to go, my daughter and I.
She's so lucky.
And there was somebody from Micah, from Johns Hopkins, from New York, from Tennessee, from Milan.
Wow.
And naturally the mayor of Paris, and her, who was a woman.
Wow. Come on.
And some other people, and we were looking at how that program was working there. So we've been working on, open source? That's one of the programs that we discussed, and we met a couple of weeks ago at Johns Hopkins to see about doing exactly what you just said.
Wow.
Because as I said, one of the reasons that I wanted to be there is because we have so much energy and so much knowledge, but we are working in silos.
That's right. That's right.
You are doing a great job here. You're doing a great job here. But if we put all these together, we would be awesome.
And unbeatable.
That's right. But we don't know the things that are going on. That's number one. And then, as you said, we are overlapping because we can't be everywhere.
Right.
But if we did have a program that would allow us to know what's going on, when, where, so that's being worked on.
Awesome.
We are trying to get the city hall to look into that or to stand behind us. But a lot of times when people don't understand, they fear that which they do not understand.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
That's exactly. So sign us up.
Yes.
And my goal is to make it to City Hall. So sign me up. Let me also, for the record, I said I was going to say this. If I ever got an opportunity to say it, I have been in Senator Robinson's house in my district. And it is bad, short, okay? I'm looking at every camera. Not only is it her house, it's bad. And can I have some of the furniture? It's beautiful. So for those naysayers out there that say, she don't live in the 7th, Shorty live in the 7th.
Shorty live in the 7th.
I'm going to get you a shirt that says that. I have a shirt that says she from Baltimore. It's real ebonic. It's like she from Baltimore. It's going to say Shorty live in 7th, okay?
Shorty live in the 7th.
That's actually a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Shorty live in the
Great idea.
So Shorty living in 7th.
Shorty live in the 7th.
I can see it with a shirt on. Living her best life.
Living her best life. So speaking of that,
my best life in the 7th.
That's right. There you go.
So with that being the case, I know that you've been keeping an eye out on what's happening in the 7th. And any advice you want to give us? Because it's funny because I don't let them live. They don't get to live their best life. They're on my campaign team. They and my family.
Of course they living the best life because they putting a leader in.
Oh, I said I wasn't gonna cry. Any advice you can give this candidate that's running for City Council, District 7, your community, your neighborhood, where you have served, where you have seen, and you have cried out from the mountaintop about the injustices and the disservices? Any advice you can give me?
Stay focused. I am endorsing you.
Can we get Joshua in here? Joshua! Josh, come here.
Oh, yeah.
Where's your phone?
Look how he came in here.
Say hi. Bring your phone. Y'all witnessing.
He never walked that fast.
History.
Hey,
That fast. Ever.
Hold up.
I said, I was dying. It was like, Josh.
Hold up. Yeah,
Say
we
say it again.
We gotta rewind that back. Rewind that
Way to
back.
perfecting it. Way to
Hold on. Some sound bombs.
Some sound ball. This just made history. Can you record my announcement for us?
Please record this.
Turn it on.
Let me see if I can go on my phone and record it.
it. Wow.
You said time right here?
Yep.
We're taping this now.
That's fine, but we want to
that's
tape
fine.
it.
He said we taping
We're taping
He
it.
said, you know, we
So y'all have to understand that this is, go ahead Joshua, start. This is new and this is exciting and this is history and this is women's history.
It
So
is.
I'm just honored. So say it again.
It is.
Say that one more time.
Say it one more time.
That I am endorsing Tory
Yeah.
as the councilwoman
Yeah.
in the 7th district.
I know that's right.
Okay.
Baltimore City.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Y'all heard it live. It broke here.
She living
Can
her
I
best
just say,
life.
It's October 1st, and it was said on the best month of the year.
Oh God.
Just hello
just
October.
deflated.
We just
you.
you right.
Hello, October. Thank
Yes.
you. It means the
October
world to me.
You know, it means the world to me to see a young black woman who put financial stuff on the back burner right now and looking for something that needs to be done and offering herself to do that.
Thank you.
So it's a lot of times that, you know, we say that, you know, somebody needs to do so or somebody, and you don't say that somebody, you say, here I am, you know. So I'm just proud to know you.
I'm trying not to cry. Y'all know
I'm trying not to cry.
And so
I'm lit.
Thank you. All these sound effects. So thank you for that. What people don't understand is it's greater than just being an emotional woman. You know, you'll hear politicians say you're not supposed to cry and all of that. So Kiana and I, a few years ago, our family, we had a number of losses, and we talk about that. We try not to be so gloom and doom, but in this one particular week, we lost her mother. 2 days later, we lost my grandmother. And so when you lose matriarchs in your family, there's a void, you know? And you start to say, God, who? And from the day we met, Senator Robinson, we have called you mother.
Don't you do it.
I'm not going to do it. Kiana might cry.
Don't you do it.
But we have called you mother. We have embraced you. And you have loved on us in a way that you did not have to. And so every time you say you are not a politician, I know it's the truth because of the love that you give. And so my commitment to you is that every initiative that adds value to the women, to the small business owners, to our communities that you did not get to pass, I'm going to work my butt off for you. Because at the end of the day, you went forward and blazed a trail so I could even have the opportunity to serve in the community that I owe so much to. So I love you to life. You're 27. I need you to live another 100 years.
Yes.
I ain't able to do this by myself. And I just thank you.
I thank you for that. I integrated the restroom in the court system in Baltimore.
Wow.
I started Black women being able to wear their natural hairstyle.
Thank you.
Wow.
System.
Yes, thanks.
I started women,
Okay,
Josh, I used to say,
move.
if I ever get in a position to make a difference, I'll make a difference. So being the first woman and the first African American in the history of the court system, being deputy administrator of the district court, the circuit court, and the Supreme Bench. And I said, if I ever got in a position to make a difference, I would. And when I became a first-time supervisor, actually, we went to Annapolis fighting for women to wear slacks to work because we couldn't wear slacks.
Wow.
So I can't tell you how many times I've gone to work and there was a noose, hangman's noose, drawn on my desk.
My goodness.
And I can't tell you, and I can go through a whole lot of things that happened back in the 60s and 70s when y'all probably weren't even thought about then.
Y'all gotta point that out.
And coming from that, that's in one of my books. I'm writing now to talk about coming from that era and to where I am now, and seeing young people such as yourself that will step up and take up the banner and run. Circuit the what's the name? Conway. Not
Belinda.
Conway. No, Conway. The what is it? What is it? The circuit. The chief of the clerk of the court. The clerk of the court. I was on the team that started the clerk of the court.
So there was no clerk of the court?
No, when they first started, they called it super clerk.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, it was no super. It was nothing because there was, it was not. It was under the city at that time.
Wow.
Sandra Banks was the first one. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I wrote her acceptance speech.
She's
Wow.
the GOAT, yo. She's the GOAT,
Literally,
the greatest of
so
all
she's
time.
touched every aspect. And when y'all call me names and talk about all the jobs that I've had, this is who I'm gonna be.
Yo.
Listen, so one day I'm gonna show you my sister's project. I have a sister who's a freshman in Towson. Her 8th grade project, I think it was, she had to do like her role model, and it was me. And it said, talk about the jobs this person had. And I had so many jobs that she had to flip the paper and get an extension to her paper. But you surpassed that.
Facts.
She said every job.
Yeah.
Like every single one. She's made the jobs. So we want to bring her back. Can we bring her back?
Can we say thank you?
Can we say thank
Can
you?
we just say thank you? Like, history. Because of you, things that I can do in
You
my
can wear slacks.
You hear me?
Right.
I work in a male dominant job, so
Right.
stuff like that makes a big difference.
With dreads. That's natural hair.
Exactly.
Well, that touched me.
My God.
a lot,
Absolutely.
with the natural hair. I had locks for 9 years. And when I started
Come on
them,
back.
I was teaching. So much like I've switched back and forth from corporate administration to teaching. And so when I started them, I was teaching because my desire at the time was to stay in teaching. But, things change and things happen. So I ended up coming out of teaching, and I was going back into corporate or higher ed. And I went to Hopkins. And so it was like, you know, by that time, my locks had grown long, and
They
I
were
was
too.
going through this whole thing of like, oh, what do I do?
Yes,
Do I
girl.
keep them as I'm going to interview for jobs? And so I went through this whole just, what do I do? Like, I thought I was going to stay in teaching. Now I'm not. Now I have to go out here and interview, you know, for these financial manager jobs and all this stuff. And so I decided, and I said, well, I'm going to keep them. I'm not cutting them. And if they don't hire me, then it's not the place for me. But the interviews, so many that I went on that I didn't get, not because I wasn't qualified. I felt like the entire interview, they were just looking at my hair.
Yep.
Like, I can't say how many interviews that I know, like, I'm talking to you and you're like this. Your eyes are like above my forehead. I know it's a big forehead, but you know, you're like looking up here, and I'm, you know, so now I'm feeling self-conscious. I'm trying to get through the interview, but I see you staring at my locks and trying to figure out, you know, if I'm gonna be in here holding up, you know, my power fist and black power, you know, because I have locks in my hair. And so, you know, that's a real thing for us as women of color.
I mean, even in the federal government, most of us started in entry-level positions. I walked in, I left a lucrative job at a car dealership because I knew we were entering in the recession. God kept showing me dreams of burning trees. And so people were like, well, why are you leaving this good job? You got a little company car, you doing all the stuff. And I said, no. God is showing me I need to shift. So I walked in making $30,000 in the federal government. And most of the people who walked into entry-level jobs, we looked like whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you walked in making $60,000, $50,000, you had a slick back or a ponytail. Mm-hmm. There wasn't not a bunch of tattoos. I mean, it was evident that was a thing. And so sitting with you today, again, we just say thank you. So we're wrapping up on time, but Nice has not asked a question. We want to make sure that you can ask a question. We're gonna bring Mother back if Mother wants to come back.
I think because my question is, she gonna have to go in some details because there's some history.
So can we do a part 2?
We can definitely do a part 2.
Would you come back?
I'd love to.
Okay.
I would, because I'm real big on history, and you seem like you have a lot to tell.
We should do like live from somewhere else.
Oh, let's
Like,
do it.
Do something. We should, and we're gonna pick up the small business stuff. We can just do it.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, let's talk offline before somebody try to snatch that.
They can snatch it, but it won't be done in excellence.
Okay.
Right. It won't be done the same way. Well, yeah, we just really want to say thank you
And
so
I thank
much.
you so much.
Absolutely, thank
I
you. It
felt
was a
like it was
pleasure.
like one of those, what's those soul sessions?
Yes.
That Oprah have. Like we
Oprah.
just have all the. Yeah, you just have it's a wealth of knowledge and information, and yeah, I'm just thankful and grateful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. I'm thankful for all
Yes,
of
yes,
you.
yes. Shout out to Jerica.
Yes.
Jerica.
To Jerica. Remember I used to call you Jerica all the time, and that's
She said I can only say that.
we love you too. Thank you. You welcome back, maybe.
Jerica,
All right, guys.
Jerica is my backbone.
She
Jerica.
is amazing. So I don't know if I told you, you're a Gemini and she's an Aquarius, and my mother's a Gemini. And
How
I'm
is that
Aquarius.
working out?
Okay.
It's working out just fine, right, Jerica? So I'm going to leave it to you guys to do the final words, and we can let Mama go. We can take pictures, and we'll come back in 5 minutes of our entertainment if we have time. And then,
Right now?
I mean, we've been doing this thing for 55 minutes.
Oh, really? Wow.
What
It
a
didn't
day.
seem like it. That was really good. Okay, guys. Well,
Go
Yeah.
straight to entertainment?
So, I mean, I was saying we want to walk Mother out.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do
All
that.
right,
Let's
so
go on a
we're
break.
going to pause. We'll be back.
Yes,
5
yes,
minutes. Or 2 minutes. I'm going to end this one. End this one.
Chill. Oh.
That's my. I just got endorsed. By
Right. Do your dance again.
y'all.
Do your dance again. Do your dance again.
We're back. We are back. Do it, back.
Facts.
So, the guys, we're back with segment 2.
Yes.
Segment 2. We're very excited. If you missed the first segment, go check it out.
Yes, you miss epicness.
I'm honored that
history.
Senator Barbara Robinson endorsed me. And
We
my
had the
candidacy.
GOAT endorse you, yo.
Gracious. So any other goats out there, don't be offended because there's multiple goats, but she is a goat. And so
If anyone who don't know what that means, let me.
right,
The greatest of all time.
So we're gonna jump right into the entertainment segment. We want to hear from Nice.
Yeah, yo.
Everybody in the show.
All right, yo. So what's going on, y'all? It's your girl D Nice with entertainment news. All right. If you guys did not know, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that means please wear your pink. You'll support breast cancer by wearing your pink this month. All right. Also, we have coming up this month Miss Tory Rose. We have the public servants for Miss Tory Rose. We're gonna be actually canvassing the area. It's a 2-day event. 9 to 12 p.m. noon. If you
9 a.m.
What I say?
to 12 noon. If y'all come out at 9 p.m., I ain't coming out with
Oh
you.
my bad. That's my time. I'm sorry. I be doing my own thing. It's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. Sorry. It's a 2-day event. If you guys want more information, please hit us up on elect_Tory Rose. I'm sorry, elect_Tory_Rose, or hit us up on the email. What's the email? Can y'all drop that for me, please?
Rose 4bmore@gmail.com.
Absolutely. So, and also bring your friends, bring your brother, bring your sister, bring your dog, bring your cats, bring them out, because we need everybody to help us out. All right, everybody for Tory Rose 2020.
Tory Rose 2020. I just got endorsed.
Facts. So she's on this high right now, but I might have to bring her down just a little bit. But then again, this might even make you feel a little bit better. I don't know if you guys heard of, but Miss Amber Geiger. She is the officer that murdered that African American guy who's upstanding citizen. Actually walked in this man's house and did some unrighteous things.
Come on, Amber girl.
But she got found guilty today, so clap on that. It's about time some officers actually get some time around here.
So I like my police officers. I like my people. So I gotta stay neutral in that. But I was angry about them saying that she had the castle clause. It's like a castle.
You're right.
Like you can
always
guard
something.
your own castle, right? And so when they said, well, she might be getting off because if they, say that she can be protected under this castle clause, I'm like, well, how you gonna guard a castle that's not your castle?
Facts.
A castle's a hard word for me to say, but
Clearly.
yeah, I'm struggling.
I really honestly early I didn't know what she was saying. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. It's one
my
of those words I
gosh.
never learned how to say. But like queen of your own castle.
Right.
Yes.
Well, anyway, forget all that. She is found guilty.
We have to
Thank
wait for the
God.
sentencing. So
Yes,
before
we're
we
waiting on
celebrate Black
Yes.
America, wait for the sentencing.
That is true. That is absolutely
Right,
true.
'cause well, you know how things can go.
Man, okay? You don't know who she got in her back pocket. Anyway, all right. So we also want to give a congratulations to the one, the only Mr. Tyler Perry. He gets a star on Hollywood
Yes,
Walk of
Medea.
Fame in LA. That is so epic. I mean, if you guys know his story, he came from homelessness to writing plays to just doing
like
it.
A woman being
Just-
7 feet tall.
Just doing his thing. I mean, everyone loves Medea. Who don't love Medea? What? You know what?
You
All
don't like
right. I didn't even think he was gonna say that. Yeah.
I won't say. You know how they have man law violations.
Right.
She has a
Right.
black law violation.
I'm already hip.
It's not a black law.
I'm already hip.
Y'all can call it out because I'm open.
She doesn't watch black movies.
I do not watch black movies, but now let me tell you why. I'm looking at one of these cameras. I don't watch black movies because of the stereotype and the stigmas that are portrayed in black movies. And so, if you gotta be a 6 foot tall, 325-pound man wearing fake boobs and talking in ebonics to be recognized, I have a problem with it. And now, so I'm not discrediting what Tyler Perry has done, but my struggle being a historian, being a political scientist, because I'm degreed in that. Whoop. That was shade.
Okay, yes. And I already knew where it came from.
That was shade. My issue with that is it is the Sambo syndrome to me, right? And so it's no different than dressing up as a mammy in the 20s and wearing blackface. That is where I draw the line. So if my family wants to sit down and watch Tyler Perry movies, I will share a moment with my family. I don't buy them. I don't subscribe to it. I don't watch them. I also don't watch while sipping your juice in the hood and wearing rollers in your hair.
Well, those are some great movies. That's a classic there.
I don't watch those.
It's like
this one, she ain't lying. She quoted us sipping the juice the other day.
I did. It was hilarious. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm from Virginia.
And she's from Virginia, and I'm from Baltimore. And so I feel that we need a balance of adequate representation in black media and black movies. So not to be so deep, but they know I ain't watching a black movie.
I can't get her to watch a black movie if I wanted to.
Was you even old enough to watch it?
No, I was sneaking and watching Boomerang.
Old enough to watch Boomerang. That's well.
I don't even know what that's about.
Hey, Sil.
But okay. All right, next thing up.
She's real young. You don't know nothing about Marcus, dog.
So we literally have the 70s, 80s, and the 90s represented at the same time.
90s?
When you was born?
I was born in 89.
And you were born at the end of the year.
December, the last week of 89.
All right, we're going to go right back to this. All right.
It was 90s, like 10 days.
We're going to go to Cynthia Allen, straight from VA. I don't know if you heard about this young lady, but she was the young lady who cried wolf talking about these 3 white males pinned her down on the...
Not men.
I'm sorry, students pinned her down on the playground and cut her dreadlocks. Come to find out, that was a false story.
Wow.
I don't believe that she lied. I think she's lying now.
I don't know. I really don't anymore. So why do you think that?
So the young lady that broke the news report is a friend of the family. And so they called her and said,
I seen her live.
And she's been being bullied or whatever. I do not believe that this young lady who said she hadn't been eating, who had been displaying visible acts of anxiety when it was time to go to school, I don't think that she lied about the attack. I think she's lying now because what happens is when you say 3 young white men at this preparatory school in Virginia did something to me, and there's an investigation, and there's all of this stuff.
It's a lot of heat coming back to her.
There's a lot of heat, and if anything in her family life is not I's dotted and T's crossed, she's gonna recant her story. And I'm gonna tell you, as a young woman who was being abused by my father, the first time someone asked me at the hospital, was I being abused? I said no. And so, because my fear of being in more trouble was more crippling at 11 or 12 than just being honest and saying, yeah, I'm being abused.
Well, I just hope she don't come out like 10 years later saying, hey, this is...
Like it really did happen.
Like it, yeah.
So what do you think? Had y'all heard about it?
I mean...
Yeah, I thought you sent it to me.
I did send it to you.
I thought I don't want to make fun of it, but I thought... When she sent it, I
don't want to hear back from you.
I said, why she sent it to me
wait,
about the lock?
yo.
I thought she was trying to be smart about the
Listen,
lock
the show is about to
situation.
be over right
like,
now.
She didn't want me to,
goodness.
because y'all know
Sleepy.
I'm going to be starting my locks over. So I thought, she's anti me starting my locks again. She don't want me starting my locks. So when I saw it, I was like, why she sent me this? About the girl locks getting.
First of all, y'all, forget this one piece of hair that is just acting out. No.
I thought she was trying to be funny. And then I opened it and read it.
Well, when I first initially heard the story, it came to me from my loctician. My loctician, the young lady's loctician sent her the actual story to her. And then my loctician posted it and was like, this is unacceptable. It went viral. Wow. So then I hit her up and was like, yo, what's going on? She was like, well, we're on our way out to the school to meet with everyone to see what's going on. So they actually rallied and went out there to, back this young lady. So I don't know, like, to me, the way that you put it, it makes sense. You understand? But I don't know. Me looking at the story.
Who got her head? Did she ever say who got it? Or how they got cut?
Nah, she never said it. I mean, she could have just been the one to do it.
She could have.
You know, anything.
She wasn't in trouble. And
right.
So what we have to understand is,
but she might have been in trouble, but she could have been dealing with anything at school,
right,
making her want to cut it. Because if you I'm from Virginia, it's majority of the people, majority of the students that I grew up with were Hispanic, Caucasian, Hispanic, what?
Hispanic, Caucasian, black, white, Asian.
No, that's it. No, that's it. That's it. It was like.
Wait, 1 second. You sound like Bow Wow. When Bow Wow said, "I don't want a relationship. Relationships are overrated. I just want somebody I can relax with, chill with, sleep with, grow with, be with."
Sound like a relationship.
She said, well, I'm looking for a partnership, not a relationship. So what you were saying was, I went to school with blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians.
No, none of that. Everybody. But majority white people, Caucasians or whatever. So I understand, like, the bullying is real out there. Like, I've been around it. Anyway, let's move past that. Right. Some sad news. Mr. Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's daddy, old manager, he has revealed that he is battling with breast cancer. In his breast is this area. Are you laughing?
I can't.
Why are you laughing?
Listen, not laughing about male
is
breast
it because
cancer.
what she did?
I mean, it's the area.
Dude, like no, you old daddy Beyonce.
Listen.
Do it again without the.
All right. All right. Listen. Sending our condolences. Oh,
right, because I thought she was gonna say he died. Thank you, Nikki. That's what
oh, my bad. Well, his breast is dying.
No.
All right, my bad. All right. Stop.
What has happened?
Listen,
oh my God, yo, you messing this.
I'm gonna clean it up. Male breast cancer is real.
Yes.
We are not at all taking.
No. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Like, we are serious about this. My bad. It's the wrong choice of words.
This is the best part. No.
My bad.
All right.
My bad. All right, listen, on some other news, the Ravens, they're 2-2. That sucks.
Now you say condolences for that.
Yeah, because they some trash. No, I can say that to the Redskins. They some trash. Also,
the Ravens are trash.
Also, some new music dropped. The Baby and Kevin Gates album has dropped. Please go cop that. They both are lit. Yeah. And in other news, famous birthdays, we're going to go down the list. Miss Cardi B is October 11th. Tony Braxton's October 11th. And
Cardi
also
is a Libra.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Bernie Mac, rest in peace.
That's why you love her so much.
Bernie Mac, rest in peace. He shares a birthday with our lovely Miss Kiana B.
God.
So if y'all did not know, Miss Kiana B, no more Jones.
It's my birthday.
Miss Kiana B will be celebrating her birthday all month long. So if you don't have a ticket to whatever she's going to be, sorry. You need to go ahead and get you one. Because they be lit. They be lit. I never partied like that before in my life until I partied with them.
Look at that. My son know. He said Libra season.
Which one? What son is that?
Kobe.
What up, Kobe? All right, listen.
Can we sing happy birthday? I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, yo, like, we're going to sing happy birthday.
So did y'all see the thing of the highest number of
I'm number 3
of millionaires of wealthy people, billionaires?
Yeah.
Is guess what sign?
But Aquarius is number 2.
Well, who was number 1?
I was number 3.
See the number 1.
You thought number 1 was Libra.
I was number 3.
We the most balanced.
Sagittarius is real lit.
They be stealing.
Anyway.
Your heart.
Anyway, let's quick. Happy.
Huh?
Thank you.
I don't think it's that y'all the most balanced.
No, I said.
I think it's just that y'all parents was messing around with Valentine's Day.
Nope. Because that would have been a Sagittarius. I got the proof in the pudding.
That was Valentine's Day? Yeah. A couple years, you won't hit this.
Right.
That's
a January snowstorm.
We're the wealthiest. Libras, you have the most.
Now she's gonna justify it because she gotta get back in balance.
Overall, happy birthday, Kiki. Are we not singing happy birthday?
Yeah, we sang.